Okay, we are live. I hope this works. If you're just coming in and watching in hindsight, skip ahead a couple minutes. Give me some boomer like time. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay. Okay. Loading. I need to share this to everyone. Share, share, share. Okay. Post. Copy. Discord. Substack. And then we'll get talking. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. Slowly, people will start trickling in. We are looking at Groupon's 3 day chart. Got the options activity. I don't know if you guys can see that super well down here. These are the Julys. You probably see the top half of the August. Um, and then equity FA. I can't tell you guys how dumb the market is. I can be pounding and screaming and telling a story about, how it's missing something. It never happens as soon as I think it should happen, where the market starts to figure it out. And listen, people did not think. If you think about when I came into this story and I said, listen, if they do these little things, this is going to be an amazing investment. People were like, yeah, but do you think they're going to listen to you? So the first part was, do you think that they will listen to you? They did, right? And I'm telling everyone they did. And I'm telling everyone that they should cut costs. They come out with a press release that they're cutting $25 million in the 2027 budget. Some severances will be here, but they did that. Then we get in discussion, friendly neighborhood activism. And people are like, yeah, but show me the progress. Now they literally showed the progress. They showed the progress. This is a business with 16.2 million users. And it's not like they have to monetize on ads. They are actually able to capitalize on a purchase. What are those users worth? The average user buys 2.4 Groupons per year. There's a huge concentration on the 10% of young and old women that love the beauty products and whatever. There's some power users of Groupon. But the problem is that, one, the last management nearly took this company bankrupt. And in 2020, they lost a lot of, they didn't refund anyone because they literally didn't have the money. And this thing IPO'd in 2010 or 2012, whatever, just went straight down. It was, a melting ice cube for the longest period of time. And it's got, a relative stank on it. That's why it's, priced like that. The business model itself makes a tremendous amount of sense, especially in today's inflation environment, especially in today's megacorps dominate everything environment. So so a lot of people can understand the consumer. Okay, you give me a good deal, sure. And then the question is, how do you get the supply on there? We'll get to that. On the other side, people don't understand why a business would give Groupon a 30% take on a discounted deal. The alternative is Google Ads. Okay? The alternative is Google Ads. If you think about how much a mom and pop nail salon will pay on Google Ads per customer in order to get somebody in, what they're giving up on Groupon is likely less on spread over the average, and you know that person's coming in the door. You can do a good job. You can potentially fill some slots. That is like beds on heads type equation where you might as well get some money. So I don't think people really understand that. You know what you're paying, and you know that someone's coming in. That's why small businesses like it. Now, if you have more than enough business, you don't need Groupon, but you also don't need Google Ads, right? On the other side, you build it, they will come. You make the app more pleasant, more modernized. You guys should go check it out. I came out with a Substack, non-paywalled, because this is an activism. I did an activism. If it looks good, younger people particularly will like it more, but also older people. Just make it look good. Make it pretty. It does wonders. And what they have shown is along those lines. I'm really happy with it. Also, the supply side. I emailed Dushan. I said, this is amazing. Let's keep on working on the supply side. But it's kind of a flywheel. If you have the users there, small businesses will go on there. Even big enterprises will go on there, like McDonald's. If you have the supply, small users will go on there. In order to drive this, one, the UI design, rebrand, all of that's great. But also, they're doing user-generated content. Kind of like I'm user-generating a live stream. I'm really plugged in because I'm on TikTok with all of the influencers. A lot of these guys that have followed me for a while are not even, there's not many finance guys on TikTok. But people recognize that I've been actually putting stuff up with a decent access. And a lot of them are e-commerce guys. A lot of them are marketing guys that, a philosopher or two, a political commentator or two that we talk in my DMs. I would say 65% of them own Groupon. And Groupon is offering 10% of what they sell, so a third of their take, in order to do user-generated content. So, hey, I am going bowling on someone calling me. I'm going bowling this weekend. I got this Groupon deal. It was 40% off. Check out Groupon. Also, use my code. Use my code. Did I put this in my Discord? I don't think so. Okay. Gotta get Discord guys in. And also, I'm going to check comments. What's up? They need to make the funny part is I 100% agree with you that they need to make it 75% leaner. Having said that, they've already made it 75% leaner. The headcount used to be 12,000 on this company. So the fact that they're taking it down, 25% per year, basically, give them some credit on that. It's not easy to, go from 12,000 to 1,700, right? That's I think 80%, 85%. Now, I think that me and 15 buddies could run this company. I'm not trying to be super arrogant, but I just think you can. I'll take Maria. I'll take some people there. I don't mean to criticize them, but I think you know the company as is, a very few amount of engineers can be there, especially after it kind of gets in the right direction. But there's opportunities. Like people are like, oh, moats are lower with AI. True, but it's hard to get number one. It's hard to get the mind share where you're like eBay. Would it be easy for me to make a user, uh, you know, good used goods platform? Yeah, it would in fact. But to get people to go on it, that's hard. To get the network effect of it, where you know that's hard. Um, Sam T, please, yeah, whatever's behind the paywall in my uh, uh, in my Discord, please don't do that. Please don't do that. It's really annoying, actually. I'm so generous with what I release. Like, just don't do that to my business. I got to pay for Bloomberg. You understand? Do you know how expensive this is? Right here. You understand that? This is more expensive than what? So my car payments per year for sure. It's like car payments, insurance, charging, healthcare, the whole entire bucket. This is more expensive. Um, 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 um. And you probably didn't know that. Just going forward, protect the paywall, especially on stocks that they're smaller. Hell yeah, brother. Okay, so I kind of like the 27 calls for tomorrow. You have 30% of room. It could unwind. If it does, you could probably sell them at 30 cents. But if it keeps on going to 28.5, it's a double. 28. I mean, just look at this options chain. So close to expiry, like we'll see. Now it has to be net buying, not selling, but check out the volume. Okay, you guys want to look at the fundamentals though? Boom, boom, boom. Let me hear you say yay yo. Okay, so notice that we have we're shrinking, 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 mini growth, mini growth in 2025. Okay, then what is the analysts are saying it's actually flipping to growth. Now, there's only three analysts on this stock. That's very, very, very. What is Woo? This guy hasn't updated oh, yeah, this guy hasn't updated in so long. So that's really skewing it, quite frankly. You guys should take his. Like, what are you doing, guy? If you haven't updated your numbers in over a year, you should not be on here. That really skews it. So anyway, there's three estimates. Bobby Brooks is on it. He thinks it's going to be 521 next year, and he's pretty bullish on the stock. I'm kind of curious why he. I'm gonna. I don't know why he hasn't raised his price target. I talked to him. It was his best idea coming into the year. These sell side guys, like they walk the price, they walk the price targets up so that it's like reasonable. not too high, not too low. And I'm like, you look at my price target on it. It is $65 base case. Yeah, I see AMCX is up. Yeah, the Discord has extra costs. It's for a different focus. A lot of people don't want to pay for, but pay for you know tools. Like let's say you have Bloomberg, you don't want to pay for my you know scrapers. You have whatever. Some people don't like the clutter. They don't like Discord. Uh, but there's extra costs and extra utility, and I've built a community in there. So they are separate. I wish I could give like a 15%, 20% discount or something, but I can't. There's no way to like check if you stay paying Substack. I've tried. So there are two separate things. A lot of people in the Discord pay for both. I mean, a lot of people have made money on my. If you followed me for long enough, I've been on a heater. I've been on a heater. Unless you sized like into the losing positions I've had, if you just did it equally, or if you did it conviction weighted, um, you made a lot of money. So it's easy to justify the combined costs as long as you have a portfolio that's not tiny. And then the other thing is, even college kids, they pay for 50 grand for what do they learn? Like, they like, there is a tuition aspect of it. Now it's not like every day is day trading. If I don't got the juice, I don't got the juice. You know, that's it. I don't like. I'm not Jim Cramer. I'm not an entertainer. I don't feel like I always have to have a view, and I think that's something that more people should do. Like if you just don't feel like you have an edge right now, just get to work on the next one, right? That's what I do. I just start researching. I just start having phone calls. Sometimes I'm talking about my ideas. I spend a good amount of time telling people, just idea chatting and trying to, use my network to be like, "You got a good idea?" And then, a lot of times, the vast majority of the times, it may be sounds okay, but it's not good enough for me to get excited about. And then, when you run a concentrated portfolio, you really sort of dive in. You really sort of dive in. 7-7 in the money for $1. Yeah, somebody just hit that for $1. You see that right here? Let's move this up a little bit. What gives? 28 bucks. Yeah, the market makers are kind of. What is the IV on that? 106. 106. What are the puts? Yeah, nobody wants the puts. Literally nobody wants the puts. Take me away to a sweet escape. Uh, it'd be kind of interesting doing a 2 by 1, selling the 27 and buying. Nope, 27 just IV just went down. Yeah, somebody's buying 28 calls. Dude, zero dates. Imagine if we had zero dates on Groupon. We need it. No, what we actually need is weeklies, and what we certainly need is higher strikes. I have a $65 price target. My bull case is well into the triple digits. Um, let's just go through, open this LLP. And sound is good, guys. Yeah, and pretty good debates in the Discord. You'd think we'd hate each other sometimes. Okay, you guys see that? Move it down. Um, this is options expiry. Options expiry is July. 1 week, 1 week, 1 week. Okay, so why are they showing money? Oh, is this moneyness? What is that? Oh, this is on IBM. Derp. Derp, 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 derp. Okay, strike 2021. There's a significant amount of open interest. We'll see. Could be closed out, could be exercised. Market makers are trying to figure that out. And quite frankly, they'll just, immediately take the other side of the trade as soon as it happens. Um, then we're talking, what is this? 85 to 90%, 24 to 24, 24 to 25. I got to switch this up. Range filters. Okay. Moral of the story is the 25 is a decent amount there. What's the high one? 30. There's 5.2K contracts at 30. This I'm sure is 33 to 35, I guess. 5.9K. There's, a few contracts above that. We'll see. We'll see. If we get over this 27, there's not much open at 28 and then potentially 30. If there's a lot of buying on these tomorrow, we could go there. I again, the market just seems to really not want to believe, and it's actually kind of better. As much as this thing is ripped, and um, how much G force that can feel like. Imagine if the market just like fully understood where this company was going overnight. Well, one, it would squeeze massively. Two, it would be kind of like sickening. You probably would make way less money just because you'd be out too early, and uh, you know just that sort of stuff's really hard to trade. But if we zoom out on this, like this is the month, this is a digestion of it. You look year to date. This looks great. That's a great uptrend, and I think we're set up for a breakout. The highs were 28, a little bit above 28. I think we're set up for a breakout here. We They deserve it. They absolutely deserve one. What happened to the volumes? Someone has to help me figure out. Let's skip the puts. I kind of like selling puts, but right now we don't need to look at that. But selling puts around earnings because typically there's like 20% earnings move, but like who's gonna sell? I think it's gonna beat, even if it doesn't beat. Who's gonna sell? Same thing as last one. Everyone said last one was like a big miss. It was better than people thought because there was severance of $2 million that you add back to EBITDA. I don't know why they don't add back. Like if you look at private equity add backs and compare it to Groupon ad backs, the most conservative thing in the world. I don't know why they don't add that back, but it was still a miss on billings. It flashed down. There were no sellers. Then it went up. Then it went up. How many people we got in here? In here. I mean, another thing that would be interesting is like a 1 day covered call. Help make it the gen. Um, help cheapen the calls for degen. So you buy the shares and you sell either the 27s or the 28s. And you're owning the shares below 27. And they get called away above 27 or 28. I mean, it would just be nice to dampen the IV a little bit in like a healthy way. As far as what medium term options do I like? These September's and October's are pretty nice in my view. Higher, like I would go higher than this unless you don't have the position. If you have shares, I like adding the convexity that's higher. Maybe a 35. You could do it in January as well, and then the leaps. Somebody is buying the $30 2028 leaps. That's about $10 today. I think you could go up to $40 on that. Um, we need higher strikes. We need higher strikes. Yeah, $40 is eight. You could do a long term covered call. I've sold plenty of puts for January 2028 puts because I'm like, never say never, but there's just literally no way these are in the money. Even the at the money, the 25 or 27 on puts. Look at the 27. You get $11 for that. It has to be below 18. And there's a massive buyback that will run hotter if it goes lower. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of gamma available for purchase close to an expiry. So it's possible. It's kind of read and see. I don't predict that unless one of you is buying. Unless one of you is buying, you can only predict what you do in the marketplace. Um, term structure. Yeah, you could sell a put for tomorrow if you're like I don't know if I want to own it at 24.3 right now. It looks pretty rippy. I think it's totally fine to buy it at 27.3. But you could sell a 27 put for about 75 cents, I would say would fill. Dude, this AI stuff has just been absolutely brutalized. It's so bad. I mean, the AI buys I bought yesterday. I'm mostly avoiding this damage, especially in context of what's working for me. Idiosyncratic moves. Jack is one thing I'm happy to talk about. That stock is awesome. I kind of I do a barbell of like um what stocks are like kind of the next to go into the popular, you know, popular buys for everyone? Coherent is one of those categories. Fermi, I think, might be there on the neo clouds as soon as they get a tenant and neo clouds turnover, um, potentially bounce. Um, but also things that nobody cares about and nobody will care about, and just kind of doing a Buffett approach. In Groupon's case, you know, it's not quite a Buffett approach because I'm trying to get a value price and a growth opportunity at a value price. But uh, when you own more like higher value stuff, as long as they're not melting ice cubes, and as long as you actually understand what value is, it's not buying Nike or Target. Like I just don't think that's value. That's mega. That's big cap value, but I just don't consider that to be value. Yeah, Fix. I shorted Fix actually in my PA. I don't talk about that kind of stuff because um, it's not like the most intelligent thing in the world. I could write a report on it, but generally speaking, um, I don't like to just say I'm short a bunch of things because when I'm short something and write it up, I want it to mean something. I want it to mean something. This looks a little funky when you get to. You want to see something? I was saying this. Okay, let's go back to year to date. Okay. RSI. Let's see that. Edit chart. Browse studies. RSI. Update. Where to go? Okay. Yeah, RSI went to about 80 and then it went back down to 55, 56. Just because a stock is overbought doesn't mean that you can't buy it. But um, like I think you could buy 100 shares. I mean, depending on your you could buy it. You could buy it. You can taste anything at any point in time. And sometimes I just buy something to watch it. Yeah, Troy, please don't. Um, Again, please just like be careful of this is not a paywalled YouTube live. I'll answer that in the Substack chat. I think we need the Pradas. I think we need the Pradas. Prada. Um, I'm so hungry. I'm really hungry. Okay, so who are influencer buddies? We need women and we need cool dudes and we need to derive Q3 results with UGC. UGC. Do you guys remember on what was it? Oh, GameStop. How everyone was going into the stores that were shareholders, and they were buying, four different not Wii's, but like what is the Nintendo thing, DS or whatever. That kind of stuff can happen. I mean, this is $1 billion stock. It really doesn't take much money to move it. Um, and the more hands that we have, like, the better, especially retail hands. Buy and hold, baby. Buy and hold. Um, the one thing I'm comfortable talking about is Tenable. ESI, dude, golly, still have some ESI, but you just get totally blue balled by a merger that's going to take a long time to close. That thing in my view was ready to go. But Tenable has been a huge winner. Still think it goes higher. Still think it goes higher. Um, but it's had a great move so far. All right, guys, I need to feed myself. Do you hear my stomach? Did you hear that? All right, we'll talk soon. Yeah, college ambassadors. Yeah, we're on it. Younger guys, let's figure it out. Let's get the sororities, fraternities, whatever, on it. Um, if it's a big school, if there's gonna be a content attached, I'm sure we could get something sponsored. Like a little, on a like a day thing, like a paintballing trip for a fraternity. If you guys film it, sponsored. Sorority girls, you know, sorority girls go get their nails done, sponsored. Whatever it is, think of ideas and let's get after it. All right, signing off.